Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, and 5v5 Grand Arena is upon us once again, and the lists of great teams and the top teams for defense and offense in Grand Arena are all abroad and anon and available. But what are those best teams when it comes to the non-Kyber versions of Grand Arena? If you're playing in Carbonite 4 like I am on my free-to-play account, or you're in Chromium, Bronzium, AURODIUM, what are going to be your best teams for those, and how are those teams going to fit into your farming paths as you move along through your roster? Let's take a look at all of those non-Kyber best teams for Grand Arena. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of things. One, we're going to sort these a little bit differently this time. We're going to sort them from defense down to offensive teams, starting at the top with teams that do really well on defense, all the way down to teams that do really well on offense or are only suited for offense. I'm going to say this for sure. There are teams that will only work on offense that we're going to cover today. There are no teams that will only work on defense. What I'm trying to give you are teams that you may be able to farm quickly and easily on your roster, especially down here at Carbonite. Teams that are available to you at these levels and where they best fit in your roster. We start right here in Carbonite and we talk about Qui-Gon Jinn and his team. I've got Yoda over there and I've got General Kenobi. The primary two members of this team, as always, are Qui-Gon Jinn with his Omicron. This is the OG Qui-Gon, not Master Qui-Gon. But Qui-Gon Jinn with his Omicron and Jedi Knight Anakin. You put them on there, Anakin becomes a nuke. That's kind of a 5-person team. Any Galactic Republic Jedis will do. Qui-Gon's Zeta and Omicron require the team to be full of Jedi. And Anakin's nuke requires everybody to be Galactic Republics. You need a bunch of Galactic Republic Jedi on there. I think this is a great defensive team. I've been doing great things on defense with these guys in Carbonite Grand Arena. Next up are the Geos. On my previous run of farming Jabba the Hutt free-to-play, Geos were getting me holds all the way into Bronzium. These guys, they just get holds. People don't know how to deal with them, and if they don't know how to deal with them, you will get holds in Grand Arena with the Geos, and you got to farm them anyway for Geonosis territory battles, so why not get them out there and put them into work in Grand Arena? Iden Versio, a great defensive team, a pretty affordable team. The only really, Iden's going to cost you some Kyber attacks and is a somewhat a challenge like a normal energy farm. The rest of those guys just kind of your leftover troopers. Well, range troopers and normal energy farm too, but your leftover troopers, magma trooper, storm trooper, snow trooper. You can even put Colonel Stark in there instead of range trooper. He's an easy farm as well. Finding your leftover troopers to stick with Iden Versio. And again, this team works great on defense for you unless they have Wampa. And if they have Wampa with an Omicron, pull her back and use her on offense for sure. The Phoenix here, we're popping in Zeb down there. A lot of you guys use Zeb. A lot of people like me prefer Sabine on there at the end. Nobody really uses Ezra here, but that's the team right there. I did not put an Omicron on Captain Rex because I think not at this level especially, he's still viable without the Omicron. I think he's kind of valuable without the Omicron for a while, but the Omicron will come into play when we get to Bronzium there, but the Phoenix can be great on defense or offense. I like saving them for offense because they can be really flexible and do a lot of things for you on offense. Next, we go to your Bounty Hunter team with your Bosk, your Boba Fett. I've got Mando, Greef, and Cad Bane. You can put these guys on defense. They can be difficult. The cool thing about them on offense is they provide a lot of flexibility for your roster, especially with Mando out there. Mando doing Disintegrate can do a lot of good things for your roster down in Carbonite when you've got control of it down on offense. Let's go ahead and scroll back up here. We get all the way to the bottom or near the bottom. CLS, man, I realize that if you're playing in Carbonite, especially the early levels of Carbonite, you're probably not going to have this full team put together right here. The CLS, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Chewpio, and 3PO. But you can mix in CLS and Han Solo, who are the easiest farms here, easiest. You can mix them in with some other rebels and mix and match, and as you build in Chewbacca and Chewpio and 3PO, you fill them in there. But I prefer this team for offense. I just like, again, its flexibility to do some things on offense for you. Then we get down here to teams that I believe are just purely offense. Teams like your Veers Troopers, that's going to be just an offensive team, man. That's going to be just a straight-up offensive team. A great offensive team, but don't put it on defense. If you have Veers Troopers, don't put it on defense. You're just killing yourself at all levels, but especially at Carbonite. Your Palpatine Vader team, I put Thrawn, but Palpatine Vader Thrawn, you're going to have them from your Phoenix down there. I put in Tarkin and Mara Jade. Mara Jade is a great tool for any Palpatine team anywhere. Tarkin can fit there as well. You can probably use them with just Palpatine and Vader or just Palpatine, Vader, and Thrawn. They're going to be your Geo killer. If you see Geos, you put this team out there, you kill them. You don't need Mara Jade, you don't need Tarkin, you don't need Thrawn really. You can put them in there just to help you out. Mainly Palpatine and Vader, and mainly you put extra characters in there from Empire in order to feed Darth Vader's speed to make sure he goes faster than the Geos and just takes care of them. Your final characters here down in Carbonite Grand Arena, fairly easy to farm and great characters as solo artists. You're going to have Wampa with her Omicron and Savage Press with his Omicron. These guys are great solo artists for you down in Carbonite Grand Arena. On offense only, you cannot set a one-character team on defense in this game. Let's move up to Bronzium here. And again, guys, I'm trying to keep in mind where you're going to be in your farming journey, what you are looking at in the game, where your roster is, what you are working on. I'm just trying to keep all that in mind as you move forward through these levels as well. I'm going to start adding Galactic Legends at each level. So we're going to say people that are in, let's see, Carbonite, Bronzium. I got a CBCA is how I do it. But anyway, people in Bronzium are going to, probably going to start running people to one Galactic Legend. I put Kylo in there to represent just one Galactic Legend. Will it be Kylo? I don't know. A lot of people bought that bundle. A lot of people bought the Rey bundle. A lot of people have Jedi Master Luke. Some people even went a little higher than that. Sith Eternal is a very easy farm. You're going to start seeing Galactic Legends out there. And I do believe if you have a Galactic Legend or you have Executor here, I also put Executor. If you have down in, I think all the way through AURODIUM, to be honest, a Galactic Legend on the front bottom, an Executor on your fleet defense, and everything else you can save for offense and have a lot of success out there. I'm just letting you know that I rolled all the way to AURODIUM, and it's changed a little bit since then, but I rolled all the way to AURODIUM with just my Executor on defense, and everything else is offense, and I put Kylo in every now and then for defensive purposes and just kind of rode it out that way. As far as other teams, you're going to start to see these Revans pop up here in Bronzium for you guys, and Revan is going to be a great defensive team down here. You put this team on defense with Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila, Sean Fallen, HK, and Sith Marauder. By the way, HK and Sith Marauder in and out of the team. You want to have them all be Sith Empire. That's the main thing. Another note here for this team, I put them at the top of the defensive food chain here. You can go on offense with just Darth Revan, Malak, and Bastila, Sean Fallen. You can even use Darth Malak as a solo artist against like a Padme team. So there's a lot of good things this team can do for you. Next up on the defense, I've got Qui-Gon there again. We go to the Phoenix, and something else that I'm looking at with these defense to offense and all the teams you can use at the non-Kyber levels of Grand Arena. I really want to keep in mind the progression of your roster and talk about how the fact that I don't have all the teams from Carbonite on the list here, and I'm trying to do top 10 for each round, right? The fact that all 10 teams from Carbonite are not on the 10-team list for Bronzium doesn't mean you're not going to be using those teams. It just means that these teams start to show up and they take a lot more effectiveness. Like these teams become really effective at these levels of Grand Arena, and you can get them farmed by this point. So you're still going to use the teams that have fallen off at this second tier, and I'm sure you guys can argue with me. Let me know in comments for sure whenever you get there, the teams that you're using at these levels, because I want to hear. I need to start going do some research. I'm very curious about how this works out over time. Anyway, Qui-Gon's still going to be a great defensive team. We got the Phoenix. That's a great defensive team. We got CLS is maybe moving up the defensive ladder a little bit. I still like to keep CLS for offense because of flexibility. You will notice one thing. I've got Jedi Knight Revan down here. I love Jedi Knight Revan on offense, and I threw Hermit Yoda on there. I think you can go with the 4-man team on offense. Jedi Knight Revan, Jolie Bindo, Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, and Bastila Shan, and do just fine. And then that would take Grandmaster Yoda. You see up top there, Grandmaster Yoda, I've got him on the Qui-Gon team. Find another Galactic Republic Jedi and plug him into that Qui-Gon Jinn team for defense. Put Yoda in with your Jedi Knight Revan if you have Jedi Knight Revan. He's awesome. You can even go with the 3 or 4-man team here and do just fine. I put Hermit Yoda. I was just trying to find another Jedi to slap on there that might be consequential, but not super difficult to get Hermit Yoda. And there's going to be others. You can do Mace Windu. You could, if you buy Lightspeed bundles, there's lots of Jedi there. But I'm just trying to find another Jedi to throw in there. I usually would go in with just 4 on that team. Especially down at the Bronzium level. Then you got your Veers Troopers, your Wampa again, and of course your Savage Press going from defense at the top down to offense at the bottom. Next up, we've got our Chromium Grand Arena. You're going to start to see people with 2 Galactic Legends and Executor. And again, like I said, I think you can climb all the way up to AURODIUM by just sticking Executor on defense, maybe 1 Galactic Legend or a challenging team or 2 on the bottom front. Just move forward, keep everything else for offense. I got a Treya team coming in here. You've had Savage Press. I forgot to put the little Omicron on Savage Press. I forgot the Omicrons on this team, okay? You need Omicron on Treya. You need an Omicron on Savage Press. Keep that in mind. But this team right here, you can put it on defense. It's going to cause some people some massive headaches. I love this team on offense, by the way. And you don't really need Darth Talon. You can plug almost any Sith down there, and they're going to do a lot more damage. I've had trouble with Darth Sidious on this team on defense. Darth Sidious under Treya lead really does a lot of damage, and he's kind of difficult to deal with. So you can plug a lot of different Sith down in there at the end of this Treya team, but the first four are kind of the core of that team. But Omicron on Treya, Omicron on Savage Press, lots of good things on defense, lots of great things on offense. This team, I beat Jedi Master Luke with this team on a fairly consistent basis if they don't have good mods on their Jedi Master Luke. Next up is Gas. You're going to put Gas on defense. Again, you can save Gas for offense if you like to, but he's just such a defensive stalwart. But if you are, and you're going to start seeing him on defense there too, so be prepared to counter him. Now, if you're going to go, again, I tried to work from defense to offense, and I'm telling you guys to go with an executor-only defense. I'm just trying to give you ideas here, guys. Then from Gas, we go down to Darth Revan. Then we still got our Phoenix. Our teams are filling in here. I got to unlock this so I can scroll it. Our teams are starting to fill in here, as you can see. Yeah, we get our CLS team. We got our Qui-Gon Jinn team, our Jedi Knight Revan, and our Veers team. They're all down there getting ready for you in, what are we at? Carbonite, Chromium Grand Arena, and moving into AURODIUM, finally here in Grand Arena. People are going to start to have 3 Galactic Legends by the time you go to AURODIUM. And by the way, I'll give a little admonishment once again. I know you're going to tell me you faced a guy that was 8 million galactic power. They had 7 Galactic Legends. I get it. Those rosters are there. I can only help you deal with what you can actually deal with. And I'm trying to guide you from the way I farmed my roster, and I had a bunch of success. I've done this a few times. So these are the rosters that are going to be competing at your level. You're just going to have to punch up and over those guys with multiple Galactic Legends as you move forward. Earlier on, Carbonite, you're not punching those guys, right? You're getting punched, or you're winning 10-0. That may be the case sometimes at AURODIUM as well. I'm just letting you know these are the roster you can develop because you're going to be in Kyber. When you go up to 4 Galactic Legends, maybe even I've seen people with 3 Galactic Legends and Executor. I've seen them in Kyber. Trust me, I promise you, if you get great mods and good data crowds, you can get to Kyber with 3 Galactic Legends and an Executor. It can be done. But you're going to start facing these types of rosters in AURODIUM, and there it is, just 3 Galactic Legends. I'm just representing any 3 there. These are the 3 most common. Executor, you're going to see a lot of those. I put the Negotiator and the Marauder in here. I put D. That should be down. So as far as fleets, that's going to be an offensive fleet for you. You're just going to put Executor back there in defense. You're going to use the Marauder. You're start to use the Marauder with the Negotiator on offense at this level and really start to do some damage. Of course, you've already got your Negotiator fleet. You've already got your Malevolence fleet. You may have an Empire fleet built up. You might have a First Order fleet. I'm trying to go with the big ones, the kind of unique ones you might start seeing. That Negotiator with Marauder can do some really big damage on fleets like Executor, on fleets like what is it called there? A Leviathan, even on Profundity. You can do some work with this fleet up against those guys. Darth Malgus, you're going to definitely start to run into Darth Malgus defenses here, and you could be placing it too. You're going to start to farm these Proving Grounds characters like Darth Malgus. You're going to see him out there. This is a challenging team. Gas is the most common counter. It's not 100% successful. C is a great way to counter it. Darth Bane's a great way to counter it. Or if you've got this team, throw it on defense and make them suffer. This is a make them suffer team for AURODIUM. I promise you, it may eat up a Galactic Legend for them as well. We got Gas, we got Treya, we got Phoenix, we got CLS, we've got your Starkiller team toward the bottom. I view Starkiller as an offensive team. A lot of people put it on defense. The reason I like to save it for offense is because it beats Rey. It can beat, I think it can even beat like Jabba. It can beat other Galactic, doesn't beat Kylo. It could beat a lot of those Galactic Legend teams out there. It's just a really good and flexible offensive team for you. I love Starkiller on offense. And then, of course, Darth Bane. You're going to start to see this guy pop up in AURODIUM. People are going to be farming him, throwing his Omicrons on him. And this guy is a monster Galactic Legend killer all by himself. One other Sith. You put one other Sith on his team, the rule of 2. And he just starts to kill people. That's going to start happening for you in AURODIUM. And there you go, boys and girls. These are your teams. All of the best teams for your roster. Keeping in mind how you build your roster, what you're farming, what you're looking for. These are teams that are going to be bringing you great success in the non-Kyber stages of Grand Arena. Please put the teams you're using down in comments. I know there's a wide variety. A lot of you guys are using different teams that are on this group here right now. I'm very curious to see as we move forward with doing this on a monthly basis, how this changes over time. It's kind of difficult, and you don't get a Captain Rex in there, all that often who just transforms Phoenix, who would have not been on this list a year and a half ago, and then all of a sudden they're popped into there. You don't get those kind of teams out there all that often, but we'll kind of see how this list evolves over time. Let me know who you are using in Grand Arena. I guarantee probably every single one of you, I say this not lightly, I think that every single one of you out there is using some teams that are different from the teams that I'm telling you to use here, because you're doing different farming methods. So let me know the teams you're using and where you are in Grand Arena. Would love to hear it down in comments. I will talk to you very soon. Have a great day, and of course, always remember, Nooch too good.